So let's actually take this stuff out of our head that sales is bad. Sales is literally everywhere.
At 22, Jatin method has helped generate over $6.5 million, close to 60 crore rupees in client sales.
Then when we started, we didn't have access to ChatGPT, but bro, you can really do wonders with ChatGPT.
Without a single reel, call to action, or even a personal brand.
You don't have to really go to, some sales school. Like everything is on YouTube.
But it wasn't all smooth. He dealt with failures, difficult partnerships, and challenges that would derail most young entrepreneurs.
I might create a product or a service that's genuinely, can help people. But the fact that I don't know how to sell it, I wouldn't be able to penetrate any kind of market.
But Jatin pushed through all the challenges and built something that actually works. Today we dive deep into his life, uncover the skills and mindset that goes behind this modern day closer, so you can learn something out of it and hopefully get inspired to build a life of freedom for yourself.
As you can see, we're in a random hotel room, but it's not random because our guest today, he lives a nomad life very regularly. He travels all around the country whenever he wants to, and he just works from there. So he has decided to work from this hotel in Bangalore today, and we're gonna see what's up.
Yeah, so I've talked to him once over a call, and I just got to know that he played a very important role in Saksham's life and how he built his career as a freelancer and now an agency owner. So I'm really excited to go talk to him, cover his journey, and uncover all the value for you guys in terms of what he does and how you can do that for yourself.
All right, so quick backstory. This is going to be a bit vulnerable. He essentially became the turning point in my entire career because I met him in Jason Capital's community, and the places where he referred me, the gigs that I got through him, it became the entire start of my career and the entire reason behind me being able to move out of my hometown. It was because of the job that Jatin referred me to. And throughout this journey, I have stayed in touch with him since 2021. And any place where I need his help, he's always there. And based on the conversations that we have had, even in Bangalore, he is always trying to add upfront. The things that he told us, the people that he referred us to, he's trying to contribute in every place possible. So Jatin overall played a very major part in my career, and I have nothing but praise for him. And today I am especially excited because this is my second time meeting him. He was there when I fractured my hand in 2023, but since then we have just stayed in touch through online conversations, and yeah, today we're gonna get a lot of value from him.
Yeah, let's go.
Right, so the entire premise of this video is we see that oftentimes people learn the art of sales very late in their career, and it's not even stressed upon by the education system that we have. So especially what the field that you are in, it's all about sales, and this is one this is one space of this entire field where even college students, right, who have time left in their entire schedules, because oftentimes college students are not busy because they don't have too much to do and they're not pursuing something, so they tend to waste time. So it's like they can replace that time with sales and actually making money while they're in college, and it essentially builds a foundation for them for their entire career, because sales is oftentimes anywhere, right? If someone learns sales in the DMs, they can present themselves better while they're giving job interviews or when they are even doing actual business. So these are the people that we are trying to help essentially, completely with this episode. So, and one main thing here also being that you oftentimes look for these people who are ambitious, and if they are putting in the effort of managing everything along with their college, it shows that they have drive, right? And it's a match made in heaven for people who are actually ambitious in college. So that's like the premise of this entire conversation that we're gonna have.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to go about it would be you telling us the journey of where you come, how did you build your career in DM sales appointment setting, what that journey was like, and also kind of keeping it very easy for people to understand, because the audience, a lot of people do not even understand what appointment setting is, right? So if you could kind of give our audience exactly what it is about in the easiest words possible, I think that would help a lot.
Yeah. I got the context, right? So let me put it this way. If anyone told me, hey Jathin, go do sales, I would never do it. When I was getting started as a college student, right? Now I'll tell you how I even got into sales without knowing that I'm getting into sales. Like, that's the fun part. and I'm grateful for sure because it's led me to like really good people and places. But let me give you a context. So see, I was always naturally inclined to environment, so always used to see solutions. What can be done better? One of the common challenges that we face in Bangalore here is a lot of tanks used to overflow, and I usually come from a middle class family, and the place where I used to stay, there were a lot of lower class, and let's say even upper middle class. Back then, in 2018 or 19, these guys used to just switch on their motors. They used to waste hell lot of water. For them it's nothing because water is the most underrated resource. They don't pay importance. It's nothing much. But for me, how I see that is, I see a serious problem if this is happening in a lot of houses, and they don't want to invest in any kind of technology that would automatically stop the overflowing of tanks. Now this is the problem statement that I started with. Now I created I watched some videos on YouTube. I created a buzzer alarm on how you can actually stop the water flow. I did this for under less than 300 rupees. I was not doing this for money. My whole intention was to let's stop on a mass scale as much as possible from my side. Interesting thing. Now, when I was actually executing this, what I actually came to know is that I lacked sales skills. Okay, which means I might create a product or a service that's genuinely can help people, but the fact that I don't know how to sell it, I wouldn't be able to penetrate any kind of market, right? Now that's where my discovery of the sales and marketing started, right? So this was a conversation where I took this buzzer for a mass production. Of course, it was less than break even, which means it would definitely be a loss making business. But for me, it was the passion towards, okay, let's save some water. That guy told me, hey, Jathin, first thing, this is not going to work because, there are other better brands or companies that can solve this for sure. And I was back in 12, right? So I was handling my boats and this. But this led me, to discover sales, what sales is actually. So a lot of people who are thinking that okay, sales is a dirty job, at least how it's being portrayed in India, guys, these guys, even from the people, the best doctors who run hospital are also the best salespeople because they sell the vision on why patients should come to them. So if someone's thinking a college student just kind of looking down on sales, the college that he's even going through that thinks is cool, they were just a better sales people to sell them on why you should be joining us. So let's actually take this stuff out of our head that sales is bad. Sales is literally everywhere, every single, that's the thing that's existed from the Stone Age and will continue to exist because we are constantly buying something or the other. Cool. That's where my journey started, knowing the importance of sales. Okay. Now, how did I actually take this further? Because now I had to shut this business down because it doesn't make sense. I was getting started college too, and I didn't have any financial backing. I am someone who never took anything from my parents to start my own business. So I had to see what is that I can do with, okay, I know this is sales. I know this buzzer thing is not going to work. And this is where I kind of started to kind of research more on sales, right? And what happened is there are a lot of, let's say, furniture stores that were looking for to increase their presence on Instagram, basically increase their overall furniture sales. Okay. And this is where I actually got started as something known as a virtual assistant. Okay. I credit a lot to Jason Capital, Dan Locke. These are the people whom I've learned from just watching by YouTube. And you don't have to really go to, some sales school. Like everything is on YouTube. You just got to be resourceful on where to search the right material, what you're looking for. Okay. So they were just explaining a bunch of stuff, and I was curious though because this is my first time. I went and implemented all the systems, whatever I learned from YouTube and books, to this furniture store. It just had 300 followers. I just saw on, let's say, what is this called? How to boost your posts. Back then, it was in 2019. It used to get really good results. So with sales, I learned something known as copywriting too. So sales is where you speak. Copywriting is something which persuades on a large scale. If you're just reading the ad copy and if it's trying to um, making you take a certain action towards the sale. So I kind of combined these two skills. One is copywriting and sales. So I reached out to this furniture store. I had to be good at sales to sell why this person who has never done sales is going to, So that was my first paying client when 12 standard. It was for 18,000 rupees a month.
And how did you find this client, by the way?
Cool. So there were a bunch of niches. So you ideally finalize a niche on whom you want to target.
Okay.
I actually went for a lot of businesses that's around me. That was one typical like furniture stores, and the other one were hotels.
Okay.
And just mass DMing them on Instagram.
Okay, got it.
So there was this something known as the cheese method again, which I learned from Jason Capital. It was something known as it's like to the furnitures to the store. How I reached out to them is not by pitching saying that I'll do XYZ.
Yeah.
I just asked cool furnitures. Do you ship your products across India and international as well? Question mark.
So they'll reply.
She didn't reply.
Okay.
I followed up again,
Okay.
and she told yes we do.
Okay.
Then I told cool. That's the exact people where we work with, where we had them increase overall sales XYZ.
Sure.
Now she was quite interested,
Okay.
and she told tell me more. And whatever I had learned from YouTube, books, and whatever Jason Capital, I just repeated the same thing.
Okay.
Now comes, have you done for anyone? Now here's what I told her. Now I told I would be working 45 days for free. Usually people do 2 weeks free trial. The fact that I was getting started, I didn't even know whether this is going to work. So that 2 weeks, let's say the 14 days, I made it 45 days.
Yeah.
And then I just told I'm going to do this. So it was more like she has nothing to lose. And then I set her highlights up, Instagram up, everything. So the deal was that I'm going to increase your sales, right? And 300 followers, right? Because many people, bro, like they think you need the perfect client to get started with.
Yeah.
And I'm starting from, and this is also a course. The more you know, the more you don't take action in the most initial stages, right? Because I didn't even go through the course back then. It was $10 subscription community a part of where I was learning. I think you guys are already doing that. So there's a lot of knowledge out there about copywriting and how things work. So that's all I had access to. So I didn't look for the perfect client. I just knew I had to help this person increase sales. Executed the skills, literally worked on the copywriting of the post. She had we didn't even invest in anything in production, which means I told her, hey, send me some good photographs of the furniture you want to promote.
Sure.
And I had learned the storytelling thing with copywriting as well. I made her record a story on her just as a person who's starting, like what her store is all about. We boosted that post and the product post, and this got us really good leads where I was just chatting with them and I was selling furniture.
Got it.
Nothing high ticket furnitures, but I didn't take commission. This was more of a virtual assistance thing, which means that, but I was getting the ground to execute my copywriting skills as well as what is that called? Sales skills.
Yeah, sure.
Very basic skills, sales skills though, right? Now, within that 45 days, the person who made nothing with Instagram with 300 followers made 60K worth of sales INR.
Right.
She didn't have, and that was like a no-brainer for her, if that makes sense. Now this is where it all starts. I'm like, shit, man, this shit actually works. The 45 days, she gets results. She's quite happy, and we never met. Everything's taking place over the phone call and all that. Next thing, what happens is, dear COVID. Right? I was so confident. I was like, shit, man, like if I'm able to make money. Before this, I had made money through freelancing photography.
So this is
also.
2019, right?
2019. So I was like confident. I'm like, wait, I was reading all this Robert Kiyosaki where he was saying, you don't need a degree to make money. And now I'd put that into practice where I was getting through freelancing and that. I was so confident. I'm like, see, 1 lakh was a lot, even for a 12th grader back then.
Yeah.
And here what I did was I thought, okay, I just need to land 5 more clients, something like a VA, and I'll be sorted by the time even I graduate.
Bro, so journey sounds really interesting, man. Like we would love to dive deep into it, So let's have some food,
Okay.
Fill our stomachs, and then we'll dive deep into the sauce, right? What do you say?
Sauce, both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Okay.
All right, so now that we know how you got into the role of being a virtual assistant, let's dive deep into a bit of technicalities, right? Can you explain the audience in very layman terms what being a VA is, the difference between VAs, setters, and closers, and how like kind of people can transition from one role to the other?
Sure. So let me first start from the virtual assistant, which is VA itself. So this is best for someone who's actually just getting started in terms of you have no skill. All you have to do is a basic, let's say, a copy paste work or an admin work. Here, the business owner gives you some of the most boring activities that they have to do on a daily basis, but are yet essential. It can be like handling the inbox. It's like, hey, just copy paste this response if customers are asking this. You don't need a skill for this, right? So it's very basic. So this is what a virtual assistant does. Even when replying to a comment, a virtual assistant can do it, right? And managing communities. So low in terms of skill, but it's required for a business owner because it saves time, and hence I think they pay easily anywhere between 20 to 30K a month INR, be it even in Indian or even the US market as well. This is where you can start your journey as a virtual assistant. You don't stop here. I mean, depending upon the time. If you are, you can just stick to this income. Now, let's say you want to upgrade your skill. Now, this is where you go towards an appointment setter. Since a lot of young people are watching, many of them kind of, let's say, are familiar with fitness, right? Fitness coaching or any kind of online educators. Now, you have to understand that fitness, if a fitness coach, his job is to do the fitness coaching. His job is not to increase the enrollments. That's where they would require people who could help them with sales. It's like, hey, I've done all this content for my fitness work. I'm posting content and I have to fulfill as well. But I need some good person who can help me set appointments so I can directly talk to the interested people from my audience. Now, there's a fitness coach with a fitness offer and they're looking for an appointment setter. Your job would be to go to their DMs or let's say their Instagram audience, do the cold outbound with maybe like, let's say someone has liked their reel. It would be engaging with those people, engaging in a conversation that would lead to an appointment set with the fitness coach. Now, let's say if the fitness coach is selling a package of 60,000 rupees or even like $1,000, a lot of people do for about a span of 6 months of fitness training program. Fitness coaches would happily pay you up to like 10%, which is close to like $100 or like 10,000 rupees for every sale that they make. Now, once you increase this volume, right, they're happy to pay you a retainer plus commission. Now, see what you're adding in terms of value. There's a person who's putting efforts into his content. There's a person who has the product, but all he needs is those sales calls. He doesn't want to handle his DMs. So he says, hey, just handle my DMs, book in the people who are interested. And once you book and he's converting them into paid clients, he's paying you. Just imagine if you're a college student, you have no upfront investment that you want to start a business, and you're going to take a skill, appointment setting, that's literally applicable everywhere. Be it you have to land a meeting with an investor if you're starting your own business, you still need appointment setting skills. So just don't limit an appointment setter to this coaches, consultants, or any product role. Imagine what it can do to your business if you're starting in the future. Because you've learned all the skill, experimented with other business, you have the skill, you're also earning at the same time with no upfront capital. So I believe this is a really good way to get started, and all you require is an internet and a phone connection and good appointment setting training. And yeah, like you're good to go. Now, further, if you again want to stack up your skills, now you've learned how to engage leads, do the basic work. Now you've learned to set appointments. The third thing you go is, now the fitness coach says, man, I have a lot of clients to work with. I can't even take my sales calls. Now, if you're able to do even their sales, now instead of 10%, they would be happy to pay you 20% because you're also doing the heavy lifting work. We are closing for them as well. So that's the thing. So you see the transition from a virtual assistant to a appointment setter and then a closer. Now this, how it applies, this is where the real sales skills comes. This applies even if you're starting your own business. You need to close the investor. You need to close your own client. So all this apply regardless whatever field that you choose. So it all comes down to, how you treat this as a skill, and be opportunistic on where and whom you can work with, right? So yeah, I think these are the three main pillars. And yeah.
I mean, like you have kind of, very well told us the differentiation between all these three things, which is VA, appointment setting, and closing. Okay. Now, talk to me about, for example, let's say if I want to start doing, let's say, appointment setting, for example. Okay. Like, let's say I have done some sort of VA stuff. I want to do appointment setting now. But in order for me to be able to reach out to that first client, even before that, I'm sure I would have to learn some sort of skills, right? Because without any skills, even if I'm able to close a client, I don't have the skills, so I'm unable to kind of set the appointments. I'm unable to close the deal on the DMs, right? So what are some of the essential skills that you feel somebody need to have before they start finding clients?
What I mentioned earlier in terms of copywriting and sales, because these are core of anything. Now, when you are in a position who's just getting started, you have to know that you don't have any previous work. That's a fact, right? There's no skill. So first thing, you go focus on gaining the skill. If I were right today in the current age, there is a lot of content on how to be a good copywriter or a good appointment setter. Now here's the step-by-step learning process on how to even learn this. I would consume a lot of videos, free videos, read books, articles, whatever is available there. Now, once you go through this multiple materials, what you come across is that a lot of people are repeating the same thing. So there's a framework formed. Now, once you genuinely have to take notes. You can't just watch a video for the sake of maybe, people are seeing this like as a podcast. It's just not to listen. Once you start watching these videos, you have to have a set framework. You first learn how to learn. You first learn how to learn for any skill. So how to learn? You watch a bunch of videos as much as possible. To a point, you're coming to a conclusion. All of them are talking about the same thing. Okay, now let's put a framework here. Then you'd come across, okay, a basic appointment set is basically where they qualify the country, where is, what kind of country they're coming from. If they're setting on an account, they see what their pain points are, what their goals are, and then we set an appointment. Watch hundreds of videos, you'll come across this. So by now, you are soaked into the knowledge of what appointment setter is. You have got that sales skill. Now, if you see copywriting, you'd see how to hook a person in terms of, response rate. Yeah, how to write a text that will get you responses. And I think back then when we started, we didn't have access to ChatGPT, but bro, you can really do wonders with ChatGPT with right now, whatever's there, right? So once you just go through copywriting and appointment setting, you'd get a framework of what needs to be done for the client. So just to revise, first thing, you accept that you don't have any skills if you're getting started from scratch. The first thing you do is not to directly learn the skill, but you learn how to learn, which I told. Watch multiple videos, you'd come across a framework. Now that you've got the basic fundamentals, now you start taking notes, getting much deeper into the skill itself. Okay. Now the next thing comes is cool. You know what the skill is, you know what has to be done. Next thing is, whom are you going to do it for?
I mean, that's where we would want to talk about how do you find that person? Like, do you decide with a niche first, right? Or do you just randomly start reaching out to people?
So we spoke about the cheese method so far. Now I'm just going to give you a simple framework that has helped me set appointments in multiple industries for different offers. And I'll just give you a basic framework. You can completely customize this on how you want it to go about it. So first thing is the hook of the message on whom you're addressing. Second thing is an irresistible sentence on why they would even consider responding to you. Third thing is what value you're adding at the same time, making it irresistible. And the fourth thing would be a call to action. So hook them, make it an irresistible offer and what value you can add to them. It's basically a no-brainer, and give a call to action for it, because you would want to end it in an open-ended way. The way I used to do a reach out, since I used to set appointments and do DM closing, is that I used to go like a few posts so they at least noticed my profile, leave a genuine, authentic comment, and kind of customize this. It's like, hey name, I saw that you have XYZ coaching program. Just curious, do you need help with managing your DMs? I am an appointment setter looking forward to land one more client, and I'm willing to work completely for free for the next 14 days with where I close the deals for you. You don't have to pay me anything. If you're happy with the results, we can continue working. Would you be open to that?
So like, are you asking to get on a call with them, or are you just looking for a response?
So you kind of keep a subtle, smooth call to action. It could be like, would you be interested? Now, not necessarily for a call. Would you be interested? Let me know. It's a subtle way of ending it.
Bro, this sounds too similar to sliding in the DMs. So the idea was, you have sent the first message, you expect 3-4 outcomes. You either get no response, you're left unread. Second one is you get a negative response, which is where the lead is disqualified. Third one being where the conversation is actually initiated. So based on the experience that you have had, and we are talking straight away in the terms of appointment setting only, when you are setting the appointment for yourself, to get that gig of appointment setting for the other person, do you often get the appointments with the leads, or should I say discovery calls, straight away after your initial message, or do you usually have, like, say, a very templated exchange with several leads that you have seen to be working over the years?
That's a good question. The first thing that I would want to address is kind of touch back on the call to action. The way you get them to respond more is you got to think about how much personalized you can make it at the very hook, the starting sentence and ending. What's really worked for me well is a voice note, ending with a voice note. That increases the curiosity to open the message, right? And it's worked really well for me most of the times in terms of follow-ups or just ending with a voice note. The voice note would be like something like, hey, just let me know what you think about the above message. If you feel this is not something you're interested in, that's completely fine as well. It's showing you're very natural, authentic, and I've seen this increases the response rate because you're giving an open door. You're not kind of giving a closed door saying, do you want to work like that, right? If you're not interested, just say no. You'll at least get a response, yes or no. That will save your time. You can follow up with the ones who are not responding, but the ones who already told no, you're not wasting time. You can just keep sure they're in your pipeline, maybe follow up in the future. Now, coming to your question, does there exchanges of messages that takes place while talking to these people? The answer is yes. Okay. And that's why I told you need to have a basic industry knowledge before you reach out to these people, because they're going to ask, okay, what can you do for me? Can you explain? Now, if you are again selling for a fitness coach, you can say, hey, like, see, this is what I do. I see that you're posting reels and a lot of people are liking. These are your potential customers. I can engage with an outbound and turn this conversation into appointment sets and help you close more deals. As simple as that. If they ask how, it's like, is it cool if I show you on a call or some? That's why you can pitch for a call, or at least if you have more industry experience, you can tell that. So people don't want to get on a call directly. There are going to be, questions that they ask. You need to respond to a way in which that would make them book a call. Just like how initially what made them get a response, now your next job is to how to make this person book a call. Get it? So that's why you need to have that basic industry knowledge, right? So yeah, what does this templated responses look like? Honestly, there's no templated response, but what there is a framework. The framework is kind of observing their profile or website, saying that I see these are the things that's missing. This is where I can help you with, saying that, and this is the outcome that I can get you. So that would be the framework, again addressing their pain points in detail and talking about the outcome. The outcome can be in terms of saving their time, making more money, or both of them. So yeah, short answer, again, have an industry experience so you know what you're talking about and the value you're adding, and get them to a call. Don't go everything in detail right there.
Cool. So, I mean, like, let's say by doing this, by offering this free trial of sorts, that I'll work for 14 days for you, I'll get you the appointments, let's say somebody said yes. Okay, like, let's move forward. Okay. So, like, now as a person who has got the gig, am I repeating the same process for their clients?
Yeah.
For setting the appointments? Or is there some sort of difference that would come into play? Like, how would you go about it? Number one. And number two, I've set the appointments, and let's say if I want to even dive deep into, okay, now I just don't want to do appointments. I've built that expertise for that particular client because I've understood that client's product better. Probably I can sell as well.
Correct.
Right? So how would you take that next step forward in terms of setting the appointments? Number one, how it is different from getting a gig for myself, and then how would you also go about DM closing for that client?
That's right. So I'll cover in steps. Does the So now you landed a client for yourself in terms of appointment setting. Now the process that's going to be is going to be the same. Okay, because it's appointment setting process again. It's just that you would have to understand that industry a bit more deeper, what their prospect pain point are. It's like if he's a fat loss coach, you need to know a bit about fat loss, so you're able to talk like them on the DMs and set appointments for them. So this is,
I'm sorry, but usually you would get on a call with the client to get the context of their business more, or you would do your own research.
so here's what I do. I get on a call with the client. I ask them, I go through their YouTube videos. I go through all their content material. And I also see their competitors on what they're doing. This helps you in two ways. One, let's say your client is also not that good enough in terms of posting content, but you're seeing their competitors. You can consult your clients to say, like, hey, post these kind of content. But you also start getting the industry knowledge in general. Or you also put in efforts into kind of consuming a whole lot of content on that specific pain point of that industry, because now don't change your mindset here where you think you're landed your client, you're going to be paid, because now again the same mindset comes in. You got to be thinking on how you can help the prospect so he can get on your client's sales call. So that mindset comes in again here. So it's the same framework.
I mean, like, as a closer or appointment setter, you always have to be selfless. You know, whether it be about you getting the client or whether it be about you selling for the client, right? I think it's like good understanding of the product, right? Your own service and then the client's product or service, and being selfless. That I am trying to figure out if I'm able to help or not, right? That's pretty much is what you're saying, right? Okay, so how do you then delve into DM closing if we take one step forward from just appointment setting?
Yeah. So here's why you got to dive in a deep more into sales, because see, it's appointment setting and then they go on a call. Now, what if we can have the same conversation that's on the call on the DMs? That's what makes it a DM closing. And this is really, the best for Indians, because if you're working with foreign coaches, it's very hard to be phone closers for them because we have an issue of accent. But you know, uh, since that if we have the skill, why not? It can be done on the DMs, and you get paid almost equally. Even if it's a phone close or a DM close, at the end they care is the sale is happening or not. Bro, like during COVID, I outperformed one of my first clients, phone closing sales team with DM closing sales team, because he had a good, it's people thought they were interacting with him, even though it was, I was setting that instantly boosted the credibility. So even if you're able to, kind of convince your client on why you can do that better, they'll be down for it to experiment it once your appointment setting. But what's the difference? Here you got to learn a bit more about in sales. It's like, cool, I've I've learned to discover his pain points in appointment and then set the call. Now, can I even learn how to close that in the DMs? Okay, where I'm able to show them how I can help them without them even getting on a call. Now, this is where we get a bit more into the sales funnels, where it's like having the conversation, sending a video sales letter. The video sales letter is usually done by the client. So once they have the conversation, you say like, is it cool if I send you a quick video on how I would be able to help you achieve your goals, which is XYZ? You customize that. They'll be like, sure. You send your client's video, you ask their client to record, and they send the video. And this video, essentially, it's known as a video sales letter, VSL. This persuades your client's prospect, that's the one who's trying to apply for the fitness coaching in this aspect, to convert. And now, if they convert, done, you're done with the DM close. There was no requirement of a phone closing sales team. The video is doing a job of the salesperson. And that's why I'm saying, to write a VSL, again, you need copywriting skills. In short, like, you need a blend of both copywriting and sales, because both are like interconnected, and you just have to use common sense on how you're going to execute it.
Makes sense. So when it comes to, let's say, DM closing, when you're working with these people, of course, they have the credibility and people want to work with them because you have the framework or the frame of mind of the prospect that this is the actual brand or the person talking to me. You get a lot of authority in advance when you're talking over the DMs. So not going into the scripts completely, but let's say if someone who is interested, they reach out to work with your client and you are the one who's closing the deal in the DMs, what kind of structure that would you use to get them from, let's say, a warm audience because they are already aware about the problem that you are solving, to get them to pay you at the end with the DM, like inside the DMs? Yes.
Okay, just so I get it right, you're asking what's the structure you
Yeah, so give me like a DM flow that can be used across various industries, and the specific use case being that, for example, let's say you are the coach, I'm the potential client. I reach out that, hey, talked about this on your content piece, or I interacted with your call to action. You found that, okay, I'm a lead who's interested. How would you then go about getting me from a person who's interested to then paying you at the end of the conversation?
Cool. So now, since that you're into be it DM closing or appointment setting, and you're working on your client's account, the good leverage you have here is that they're investing in traffic, they're investing in content, they have a personal brand. Now you generate leads two ways. One is inbound, which means people see their content and they message you. With these people, with inbound leads, it's pretty much you first qualify them on first you always be you humanize with them. You set a context. Hey, cool, like, is this something you need help with, whatever offer you're selling? If it's a fitness coach, it can be like, hey, I appreciate you reaching out, just to make sure, so you needed help with cutting down on your fat, am I right, or something like that, question mark. It's like, hey, yes, that's what I need help with. Then you go on to this, saying, cool, would it be cool if I ask you a couple of questions to understand your current fitness level better, to see how I can help you? Then they say yes. Then what you dive in deep is into the challenges. You'd say something like, cool name, like, just so I have a better context, can you tell me more about your present situation in terms of what are your current fitness challenges that you're struggling with? Then they reveal that. Now you have to go in a bit deeper in terms of consequences. Like, cool, how long is this something you're struggling with? Like, how long has it been? Now they're amplifying their pain point. Their pain is amplified enough, you go deeper. Again, will become a whole new thing if we start going into the sales, but you have to be very good with kind of having these conversations that brings about their pain point. And now you start future pacing them into the goal situation. It's like, I completely understand, you empathize with them. It's like, just curious, let's say 3 to 6 months from now, what kind of physique you're looking forward to have.
You're making them visualize of what they would want in the.
That's right. And they describe it. Now they've talked about their pain points, and they have also visualized their future self. And last thing is something known as is the prescription. It's something like how a doctor diagnoses everything, and they say, okay, Saksham, you have this, correct, and you're listening. It's same like in a prescription way. It's like, cool. So based on what you have told me, you are struggling with whatever your fat loss issues, that's not allowing you to have better sex or something, like whatever it is. So, and then you kind of amplify the pain points, even though it's funny, guys, like this is the amount like we receive it with fitness coaches, where people are not happy with their physique, and that's affecting their whatever their personal life. And this was one of them. That's why I took that example. But yeah, that's how. And then it's like, if that sounds about right, now if you're setting an appointment, you'd say, would it be helpful if we got on a hop on a call to show you how exactly we'll be working together to help you overcome these issues, so you're able to do XYZ, so you're able to have a better relationship. Now that's a complete, it shows that you have paid attention to that specific message. So this one is really important. And then what happens next is that, now here's where, if it's a mid ticket, low ticket or mid ticket, I would DM close that sending a VSL. And now if it's a super high ticket, then you would set an appointment.
So you're not sending them the VSL before understanding their pain, problem, desires, and VSL comes after that, right?
Yeah, once the prescription is done, to show, man, like, okay, this person, once you're able to communicate to a person what they're exactly looking for, even better than them, that's where they realize that, okay, this person has understood my needs. Yeah. One most key important thing, you have to be fast with responses, right? Which means that you have to be active on the DMs continuously, because speed is what matters in the DMs. If they are messaging you and you're messaging back 18 hours the next day or something, you're just losing the flow, right? It's just like, you're texting a girl and she's messaging you back after 18 hours or something. Yeah, you're pissed, or the spark is not there. The same thing here, because that time the prospect is also emotionally invested in their situation of their fat loss, of about the goals. Yeah.
So I think this would be a great way to even get your buddies in college to work with you, because that way you could divide the work in a way where you guys could together cover.
Bro,
let's say, a bigger
100%.
timeline.
Like, interesting thing, like I had one of my friend's sister back in COVID. She had, I think I told about her to you earlier, where she had, so Indians were restricted from other to enter other countries because we had high number of COVID cases. And that was a year of drop for her. Here I helped her with, again, an actual fitness client. Bro, like within a I think 2 years she got her plot. So that's the amount of money that can be made with appointment setting.
That's insane. That's insane. Yeah.
So let's say, just ending off on the technicalities, right? People who have gotten the complete idea around how being a VA, how being a setter, how being a closer works. If you were to point them towards specific resources, let's say the best books, the best courses that they can find, the best use of GPT that they can use to learn about the entire game, so that they can have complete context. Because of course, this topic is so vast. Even if we spend the whole entire day talking non-stop, we won't be able to cover everything, right? So just point people towards the best books, the best courses, the best use of AI that you have found recently, that can help them kind of learn the entire game. Also give them the right frameworks with that resource, and the last thing being, using those resources, they get the gigs and all, in the VAs and the online appointment setting space. Is this space still something that people can go and pursue a career in?
Cool. I'll first address the very most important question, that is this space still relevant? That was a question I was dealing with myself, because, bro, like we hired team members. There's a lot of efforts that we put into even training them. So imagine like training a lot of people for a thing that's not even relevant a few months down the line. So the answer is yes, it's going to be relevant because AI is still not at that level. Or even if it's going to be, you would need a person. Let's say earlier, what used to be the situation is there's an appointment setter for LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. What might happen even after AI comes, it can be something like, okay, cool, AI is still setting. There's one person handling multiple platforms to set appointments. So the skill is still going to be there. It's still going to be relevant. It's just that you got to be familiar with how to use it with AI. It's maybe we are discussing 6 months to 1 year down the line, that situation might come. At least the point that we are recording this video, which is June of 2025, I think there's still a huge amount of opportunity in the DM closing or appointment setting space. So addressing that question, moving on to another one, resources. Let's come with step by step. So I would say, bro, Alex Hermosi has got really good stuff on cold email, right? His entire Ravi Abavula, even he has got some really good stuff. I would say just go type. So here's where this is what you have to learn how to learn, right? So I would say like how to do appointment setting. This is what I did initially for other skills. It's like I watched a lot of videos. Even Dan Locke, he teaches a lot of sales, right? So I would watch this from multiple creators. Now all these creators, they have their freebies and resources listed, which can be their email list, free PDFs, or even something that would cost you very less, like $10 or something. Okay. Now you can start going through this. There's so much information that you'll start getting familiar with the industry itself. Okay. You don't have to invest in their high ticket courses. Okay, because all the information is out there. Now the next thing, so do that for both cold email, copywriting, and sales. Cold email or cold messages, because yes, copywriting will help you with the complete copywriting as a whole, but cold email will kind of give you the specifics on how to actually do those cold emails. Now let's say you have landed a client. This is where I'd say, like, if you don't have any mentor sort of kind, you can make ChatGPT your mentor, where you are just better with prompts, right? Bro, it has gotten to so much better. But like earlier we used to do role plays. Now it's like you can role play with ChatGPT and that'll make you better. And you can just set the difficulty level on it. Like that's how much you can practice. Let's hypothetically assume that you have landed a fitness coach. Here's what I would do. Considering that you're just getting started, you don't have the support that you require. I would take all his materials, all his coaching program details, feed it into ChatGPT prompt, give it specific details, saying that, hey, I'm an appointment setter who's just getting started. Like, describe all your real situation. I have landed this client for a free trial. I want to give him the best results. My job is to, specifically help him set more appointments. I would be doing with both inbound and outbound. Generate me an inbound appointment setting script as well as outbound so I can help set more appointments. Bro, it'll do wonders for you in terms of how deep it can go. It depends on how much data you give it. Okay, then let's say you come across DM objections, you can start. Now, here's the thing. I don't think your client will be mad for you to do this, because at the end of the day, his work is my work being done or not? Now, once you start doing this, you're fairly on a good track. Now you start engaging with the client, start asking them active feedback. Don't be silent with them. Okay? Because remember, you have to be slightly better than them. You don't have to be a complete expert. You have to be open to feedback, especially when you're handling their DMs, because you are representing them. So yeah, and this is where you can kind of get into the tone of their complete DM closing, like how to sound like them. And I think you'd be off to a good track as well from this available free learning resources. I think back then, bro, it was like very challenging. I think I lost 2 clients on the way before even I land because of the mistakes that I did. But yeah, I think I shouldn't drop this, but again, I'll do it. If you see there are a lot of high ticket courses that you can't afford them, I think a lot of people don't know, just like for movies, there are course torrents too, which for a $10 you can get a whole bunch of access to some really good stuff. Yeah, leave
Just
this.
find them, don't point them towards it.
Yeah, you got to find them. This was because if you don't have $5,000, I'm not going to take the name. Just Google that course, put this for free, and see if you get it. You're lucky. I'm not promoting it, but yeah.
So you're 22 years old now. How long you have been doing it now?
So I started when 17 to 18. That's the range, because
2019 is when you
okay,
started.
okay.
It's like 5-6 years.
5-6 years now. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Perfect. And how big is your team at this point?
So it keeps on fluctuating because it sales. The max thing that we ever had in terms of just DM closers and setters were about 16. Yeah, but that has been, but like usually for per client, we have 2 setters and 1 VA. Yeah, I mean, we had like multiple VAs. So I would say roughly it varies from 16 to about 25 members.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So like as a team right now, when you are reaching out to clients, are you promising them a particular amount of appointment sets, a particular amount of sales in a monthly basis? Are like those your KPIs, or you're just trying to beat their last month's performance? How does it go usually?
So first thing, I take a context on even before we work with them. Of course, now this doesn't apply to everyone. If you're just getting started, you can't choose your clients, right? But here we take down the performance of like their overall content on how they're generating leads, be it ads. Now, if we see that cool, there is a potential, we also take down their previous down numbers. We completely divide it into what's our controllables versus what's the non-controllables. The controllables would be something like, are you doing X amount of outbounds, follow-ups that can help us? And also, are you on top of the conversation making them better? The stuff that we can't control is if they're not doing their marketing well, there's no way like, you can drive leads for them if their complete, this thing is empty. So this is something that we clearly set the context in terms of, cool, these are the KPIs that we'll be following in order to hit these projections. But we would need a support from you at least posting X amount of week, and your audience, the engagement rate should be this much from X amount of qualified countries. So this is something we specifically look at as well.
Perfect, man. I think we have covered pretty much everything, bro. I think it's been a treat. Even like I haven't been into this industry a lot, but even myself, I got a lot of value out of it. So I'm sure audience would definitely love it. Saksham, would you want to add something?
No, I think I know him inside out. To
Inside out.
not on the inside, but it's on the outside. Because like I have whatever he said, I have experienced that. I have been in the systems around how things work. So it was like a great recap even for us.
Perfect.
Around how we could implement. So I just have a couple questions written here that are more about you and not about the work that you do. So of course you have made a fair bit of money for yourself. uh, being so young, you must have some things that you would like, materialistically. So what are some of the things that you spend your money on?
Cool, bro. Like, here's the thing, right? I'll share an interesting story. Like, not story, like an whatever. Like the stuff that I've been through that kind of make me less materialistic at this given point of time. So when I first, started making money, I wanted like a fossil watch, okay, because I got that. And let's say there was a lot of things like, be it gadgets, iPhone, like laptops, like I started to get that, and I just had this dissatisfaction of at the max one day, right? And I'm someone who just thinks like, okay, is there a necessity of this? And then only till that. So I'm not someone, I save aggressively. So that's why even this period of about 5 years, I would say, I think, yeah, 5 years, there were like 2 very rough years. But the fact that I've saved very aggressively, it still keeps the cushion up for me. So materialistically, I'm not that much, but in terms of where I spend the most is again into mentorships, right? And travel, and the other stuff is more into welfare for animals. So that's where my most of my money goes.
So regularly you've mentioned that you spend money on welfare. What are some of the things that you have been doing recently? Because when we used to talk over the years, this was one thing that remained constant, that the guy wants to contribute, to humanity in general. So what are some of the things that you have done recently?
Yeah. So see, it's more like, um, I would say there are a lot of dogs, bro. As I mean, any animal, right? And this has happened multiple instances. It's where like, let's say there's an recently. I'll take two instances. Like, uh, there's a dog. Its eyes were popped out, and people just leave it. If it was their pet, would you do it for that animal? Right? Like they don't even bother. It just keeps on suffering. And luckily, I found this NGOs that are actually selfless, because now a lot of NGOs are commercial, right? So these people, like, they do it out of their own money. So these are the type of organizations where I help, like not this ATG, because all those becomes like a way to park your money to escape taxes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, so I have few set of friends or people who are actively on ground supporting these animals. So my thing mainly goes towards dogs and cows, cats, whatever, shelter, and injury recovery. So there's been multiple instances, but yeah, that's where most money goes in terms of like their medical bills, be it their shelter costs and all that. So yeah, that's where.
And that's like very, very selfless of you. These are a lot of the things that people, even our mentors, tell us that they realize in their 30s and 40s, right? And to do it at such a young age, like even we are 4 or 5 years older than you, and these are a lot of things that even we haven't felt yet,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So you doing this, it's very different based on.
No, 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 no,
No. Like
We
it's very
obviously mean
different,
it,
bro. Like
yeah, for sure.
people don't do it that much. All right, so that was the episode with Jatin. We learned the ins and outs of the DM closing game. And just to do an end note for the video, what do you think about communities in general, especially the online ones?
I think it's really great. In fact, the only reason why I was able to grow in the very initial stages was being a part of an online community. I think just besides the knowledge, the kind of like minded individual it connects you to. Bro, there is no age barrier. When I was getting started, I used to have this healthy competition with a 30-year-old guy who's on the same field. We pushed each other. And I think like with Journey Club, that's what you're trying to build, which is like phenomenal. And Even I think in the most initial phases, I'm already connected to a lot of Journey Club members who are doing like amazing work. And I'm not just, buttering you guys or something. Yeah, that's how off script this is. But yeah, it's like a really good, I think community, it's what gets us closer. And that healthy competition is required when you see that the other person is not giving up, even when you feel like you're giving up, that still keeps pushing you. So yeah, that's a really essential thing if you're getting started, especially in the online space, because we're all distant and there's a lack of knowledge or resource if it's not done in the right way. Community helps a lot.
Community is the way forward, guys. We'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, tell us in the comments, subscribe to the channel.